In this video, we hope to raise awareness about the harmful effects of waste and how students can help out. We will talk about easy yet efficient methods to reduce waste. The main categories of waste discussed in this video will be energy, water, plastic, and food.
In America, the issue of food waste is an ever-growing and ignored problem. Ideas about water, electricity, and plastic waste have entered the spotlight much more in past years, but that doesn't mean that we should be ignoring the percentage of food that still goes from the plate to the trash. A colossal 40% of food in America is wasted each year. In fact, in 2010, 133 billion pounds of food were wasted, totaling to be $161 billion worth. A large portion of food waste is actually contributed to the consumer, like you and me. Because it is believed that hunger should be reduced in America, prices for food are astoundingly low. On average, families waste 25% of the food that they purchase, but only spend a few $1,000s a year. America's food waste is equivalent to a quarter of the water that they consume yearly. Students should talk to their schools about trying to create a survey so that people don't waste the food that they're provided. By polling the opinions of its consumers, cafeterias can avoid serving foods that would usually end up left over on a plate. Another suggestion would be that students take food for themselves instead of having their meals be placed on their plates for them. This would allow students to take only what they truly need and therefore reduce food waste. These two suggestions may give more responsibility to the students, but it most definitely could make students more conscious of the food they waste. Another method of reducing food waste would be through food donation. According to the Good Samaritan Food Donation Act, one can donate food in good faith without fear of liability. Companies like Rescuing Cuisine have been repurposing food and redistributing it amongst those who need it. Cumulatively, they have already redistributed over 1 million pounds of food. Other groups, like Food Recovery Network, have been recruiting different colleges across the country to gather food from establishments that would otherwise waste it. Last year, they were able to recover almost 400,000 pounds of food waste from school campuses.
In large organizations such as schools, up to 1 trillion gallons of water are wasted each year by leaky pipes alone. Surprisingly, this is one of the only statistics that we have about water waste. Despite the importance of water in our lives, the amount of data available concerning water waste in schools is minimal. Requiring inspectors to record more information about the water systems and water usage in schools could aid us in finding more effective solutions to water waste, thereby helping to preserve our most important resource. Though it seems like repairing leaky pipes is fairly simple, most schools fail to identify when their pipes are leaking. Inspections are neglected, as leaky pipes seem like a trivial issue. However, these inspections are critical, because a single leaky pipe, if left unchecked, can waste gallons of water a year. All those drops of wasted water add up. Although there is little data available to us about water waste in schools, there are several steps anyone can take to reduce their water waste, such as repairing leaky pipes, using lower water pressure, and using gray water in toilets. Fresh water isn't necessary for a toilet to work, in the same way that it is for sinks and drinking fountains. Gray water is relatively clean water waste from baths, sinks, washing machines, and other appliances. This is a harmless way of recycling used water and allows you to save clean water by not using it in your toilets. Using lower water pressure in schools also helps to reduce the amount of water wasted. High water pressure isn't necessary for washing your hands or being able to use the drinking fountain, and the lower water pressure will help to conserve water. Although it might take a few seconds longer to wash your hands with lower water pressure, saving those few liters of water is worth it. An easy, unnoticed way in which you can reduce your water pressure is by switching your toilets to the European model, which has an option for high water pressure and an option for low water pressure.
Plastic pollution is the process of an accumulation of plastic products that harmfully affects habitats, humans, or wildlife. plastic pollution is especially dangerous as it can take 20 to 1,000 years for plastic to break into smaller pieces. Plastic can block sewer lines, drainages, and other waterways, leading to blockages and unwanted pileups. When plastic breaks down, they break down into polymers and toxic chemicals. Chlorinated plastics can release harmful chemicals into the surrounding soil, which can then seep into groundwater, surrounding water sources, and the rest of the ecosystem. In this way, plastic can cause detrimental harm to animals that drink the polluted water. In 2012, it was estimated that there was approximately 165 million tons of plastic pollution in the world's oceans. There are believed to be 46,000 pieces of plastic in every square mile of ocean. 13,000 to 15,000 pieces of plastic are dumped daily into the ocean. Every year, 6.4 million tons of plastic waste is dumped into the ocean. This is the same as 3,200 kilometers of trucks, each loaded with garbage. Approximately 100,000 marine organisms and 1 million seabirds die yearly from plastic entanglement, but there are far more that are unaccounted for. Because plastic takes so long to decompose, once an animal ingests plastic, it often proves to be fatal. At least 2/3 of the world's fish stocks suffer from plastic indigestion. Harmful chemicals from plastic waste can be transferred from these fish to humans after consumption. Recycling plastics comes with numerous benefits. Recycling provides a sustainable source of raw materials to the manufacturing industry, as recycled plastics can be redesigned into new shapes and used in different appliances. Recycling plastics can also help reduce landfill problems and prevent energy waste. An easy way for students to help reduce plastic waste is to stop buying beverages that come in plastic bottles. The plastic bottles, which consist of a type of plastic known as PET, leads to 2.4 million tons of waste each year, exactly 1/6 of the total plastic yearly discarded by Americans. 75% of the waste from plastic bottles goes straight to landfill. Bringing in a stainless steel bottle to lunch instead of using plastic cups will help ease the problem. At home, one water pitcher filter can effectively replace up to 300 standard 16.9-ounce bottles. These investments could save you hundreds of dollars and drastically reduce the amount of plastic waste that you produce. Large amounts of plastic waste is common in schools all throughout the United States. Schools implement many different methods to limit plastic waste. The most common and effective method is by separating the trash schools produce. For example, Trinity School, a private school in Manhattan, has adopted a new disposal system in January 2017. In this system, the cafeteria staff divides trash into 3 sections: food, garbage, and recyclable items. The recyclable items are then further divided into paper, plastic cans and bottles, and cloth. This new system greatly reduces the amount of plastic wasted because the separation of the items allows the cafeteria staff to send the plastic cans and bottles to recycling centers. Although the Trinity administration has not yet measured how effective this new system is, they are confident that it works and will soon publish statistics on it.
The inefficient use of energy is a major problem in both schools and homes. Inefficient energy not only wastes energy, but also results in increased spending by schools. In many schools, energy costs are the second highest, after salaries. By cutting costs, more money can be put towards books, more teachers, and even more programs and extracurricular activities for children. From K to 12, about $6 billion is spent on energy annually, and the U.S. Department of Energy estimates that $1.5 billion can be saved by using energy more efficiently and implementing small changes to save a lot of energy. One major area that can be improved is lighting in schools. The use of lights in many classrooms for 8 hours a day can use up quite a bit of energy. In order to save energy, daylighting can be used more effectively. Daylighting focuses on using more natural light to its fullest potential in buildings in order to reduce the need for artificial lights. Buildings are constructed so that the sun does not go directly into one's eyes. Many windows are present in order to make the most of natural light. Using a high-performance glazing system allows for more light to enter than a typical window does. Another architectural design that can be very helpful is skylights for top lighting. Also, tubular devices can channel light from the roof to a ceiling pane and make the most of sunlight. Lastly, daylight redirection devices can be used to redirect sunlight to the ceiling and distribute it to other areas that would not receive the sunlight otherwise. In addition, another major area that can be improved in schools is heating and cooling, which accounts for over 60% of the energy used in the building. Some simple solutions are using sweaters in the winter to reduce the amount of heat used in schools. Also, it is important to choose an optimal placement of heaters so that they can heat the room the most efficiently. They should not be blocked either so that the heat is not confined to one area. South-facing windows are the most efficient because they allow the most heat to come in through windows in the winter. Insulation is very important in order to keep in all the energy that is required. Not only will insulation help with heating, it can also help with cooling because it will keep out unwanted heat in the summer. The positioning of south-facing windows helps with cooling too, as most of the warmth in summer comes from the east and the west. This way, the entrance of warmth is minimized in order to keep the home or school as cool as possible. It is also important to use the most energy-efficient models of heaters, air conditioning, exhaust fans, etc. in order to save the most energy in the long run with only a small one-time cost. By integrating all these methods in schools, lots of energy can be saved, which also results in saving money, which can be put to better use than just wasting money on unnecessary energy.